believe you.
What do you mean, me?
I cannot believe that I had to explain the context of Oppenheimer to you.
Listen.
Why
would I know that?
Why? I don't understand how you didn't know that.
What was I supposed to know?
Okay, well, I'm fine with that. Like, you didn't know like exact specifics and stuff, but you thought it was a Morbius bit.
I did indeed. I thought people were like hyping it up, gassing it up to like not watch it.
You thought the Oppenheimer movie about the atomic bomb when we bombed Japan in World War II was a Morbius bit.
Yeah, because I haven't seen any advertisement for it yet. I saw like a handful of memes, and it seemed like a huge, big budget movie. I'm like, huh?
It is. For
I'm
good
like,
reason.
why isn't anyone talking about this?
It's another Morbius bit.
I know, like the historical events. I just didn't know. I didn't know who Oppenheimer was.
Right, the person behind it. I thought about adding it to your list, by the way, which I will not expand upon for any audience that doesn't know. But I decided that it doesn't really matter if you know the name of some dead scientist.
What a relief!
Yeah, I didn't think it cared. I think it is general knowledge and that it could go on the list, but I figured I'd give you the pass.
Yeah, like if I didn't know what happened. That goes on
like you obviously know, like you understood everything once I said like this guy did this. You're like, oh yeah okay.
It's also
so it's
clear
like that's
now.
fine. If you didn't know the rest of it,
that's
then
why
it would
it's
have
the
gone
opposite
on the
of the
list.
Barbie movie.
That's right. And so now you understand all the Oppenheimer memes.
I'm all caught up.
Yeah, they're good. They're pretty good. There's also been some like funny ones where I was telling you like which one do you see first, and I'm glad you are sensible and chose the right one.
I see the light.
What kind of maniac would see Barbie first and then Oppenheimer? Why would you want
to your thinking energy on the wrong movie?
Why would you want to end the double feature with probably a depressing and very heavy movie?
Right? Yeah.
It might not be that bad because you have no like. There's nothing to like impact your daily life about it anymore.
Yeah.
But like it's still noted as like a really heavy and not
dense.
Comforting movie.
Yeah.
Dense movie. So why would you want to end it there? You got to end it with Barbie.
You know what that reminds me of? There's like this new like Holocaust movie coming out, and it's a fucking romance, and that feels so immensely inappropriate.
Is it like about survivors, or is it like Hitler?
It is
and his thing?
It's between a Jewish girl who's being hidden by like the family of this boy she likes.
Me it's all like she like falls in love with a Nazi.
I don't know. I couldn't tell from the trailer if he was a Nazi, but he was German and she was Jewish, and she is hiding in his house.
That's right. I guess not all Germans were Nazis. Just 90% of them.
We can say that because no one
That's
cares
historically
about Germany.
true.
Is it?
Well, I mean, most of them were either by belief or by not their choice.
I see.
It's like
They were complicit.
Because they couldn't do anything about it. There was like a very
Listen,
but they
die
also could
for
die.
it.
I was gonna say they die. Oh, this is
what's that Killmonger quote? I'd rather die with the ship than listen to you floating.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Word for word.
Something like that.
He said, what did he say? Bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ship because they knew death was better than bondage.
Yeah.
So it's basically like word for word what you said.
Yeah, I know. I know my movie stuff.
Yeah. Movie stuff. Yeah, you know your movie stuff.
It's getting worse.
I like that you say you know your movie stuff when we're talking about the Oppenheimer movie.
The stuff I didn't know.
Did you also know that Barbie and Ken were supposed to be siblings?
In the movie or like originally?
Like originally, when the creator,
Really?
the creator named Barbie and Ken after their kids.
Interesting. Shame.
And so they were originally supposed to be Barbie and Ken, the brother and sister.
Yeah,
and
sibling
then,
duo.
Yeah, literally everybody shipped them. and then they just became a couple.
Yeah. Much like the anime girl Wendy.
Wendy who?
Like Wendy's the fast food restaurant.
Who did they ship them with?
No, it was more like Wendy's, like the icon, it was based off the creator's granddaughter at the time. It was like a child. And then they did like a fan art thing on Twitter, which resulted in like really horny fan art of what was intended to be like a child.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, they like, okay, I got you.
Yeah, like, yeah, she's 90 now, but her imagery.
Right. Well, that's like people, this is off the beaten track, but that's like when people simp for like the anime characters that are like gods but look like children.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they're technically like 1,000. And they're like a 5-year-old girl.
They just look and act and speak like a 5-year-old girl.
And have the mentality of a 5-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Because they are a 5-year-old girl. Oh, poor Wendy. I didn't know people were like Rule 34ing her or whatever.
Oh, yeah, hard.
I guess that's sort of inevitable, though.
Indeed. They knew that. They should have known.
That's right. If something exists, Rule 34 has, clenched its large fangs into its
Well, a lovely description of that.
Yeah, right. Welcome to episode 82 of Your Ridiculous.
Extended opening.
What a great intro. My favorite are the ones where we really get off key.
3 different topics in one
That's right.
go.
Listen, it all wraps around. It's
Fair
all
enough.
important. It's all relevant.
Yeah.
Last week we talked about Unicorn. One of us talked about Unicorn Warriors Eternal.
We didn't. I didn't.
The other one forgot.
Watched the wrong show.
And what show did I watch? Well, our main topic is The Witcher season 3 finale. So I, take a gander is what I watched.
Heavenly Delusion.
That's right. Yeah, Heavenly Delusion. That's what I watched. The one that was apparently on my list, but I also forgot about.
You were an animal.
I didn't say you're wrong. I just said I forgot. I believe you because you remember that stuff better than I do. But
perhaps
I believe that I like that I'm the one that wanted to watch it and brought it to your attention.
Yeah. And
then you watched it first, and I've completely forgot it.
You're like, what's that shit? That nonsense.
Sometimes we get busy and forget.
Classic.
Yeah. So, audience, my dear audience, this week we are talking just about The Witcher 3 finale. I guess I don't know if it's technically called part 1, but they've only released 5 episodes, and I think there's supposed to be another 5 in like a month.
Yeah, technically part 1.
Yeah, technically part 1. Just the finale. We're not talking about all of season 3 because who cares?
No, well, it wasn't what we're talking about.
That's right. And
I watched.
What did you watch?
I watched only the final episode of season 3.
You watched season 1 a while ago.
I watched season 1. Came out. Amazing.
And then we both skipped season 2.
Yeah.
And then last week I watched season 2 and season 3 part 1. And you watched the last episode of season 3.
I did. It did not inspire me to watch the rest.
Well, that's good because you don't need to. I can't wait to upset our listeners that care about The Witcher, by the way.
I saw this.
Granted, I like The Witcher, season 1 was great.
Netflix's Witcher. They're dropping the ball. They're fucking it up. I'm like, what am I watching?
You liked season 1 though.
I love season 1.
It was excellent. Season 1 was so good. It's one you could watch again and again. It's really, really good. Season 2 was a fucking bore because nothing happened. Amazing. And what did happen, they undid it all.
Oh,
the 2 main plot things, there's a lot that happened, so it's not just this, but the 2 primary things were that everybody and their mother is looking for Ciri.
Yeah.
Because for one reason or another, some people think she's the savior for the elf kind. Some people want to, marry her, even though that, she's technically his daughter, but he wants to marry her for his power and the seat because she's like heir to Sintra.
Yep.
And then some other people just want her because she's magical and powerful.
Yeah.
So they all know different disparate things about her. Then she starts training, not to be a Witcher, but she's training what the Witchers did.
Yeah.
Geralt's not going to make her a Witcher, but she's like wants to be able to defend herself and fight and all that stuff.
She's independent.
Exactly. And she wants to, not be a schmuck if someone comes after her. So she actually does. She does that successfully. She actually gets pretty good at, hand-to-hand combat and sword fighting, and she knows how to identify monsters and all that good stuff. Nice. The other thing that happened was that remember season 1 where Yennefer, like, blows the field open with fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, she loses her powers after that. And so the whole season 2 is like, because remember, fire, all the magic comes from a source, but fire is you're the source.
Yeah.
And so she used so much like firepower that she, burned out her magic ability.
Yeah.
Season 2 was her trying to regain the ability to control chaos and be magical again. And she eventually does that. So all of her ability her character development of learning to live with herself without magic was sort of undone.
Interesting choice.
One of them was her final plan, by the way, that made her sort of come around, was to sacrifice Ciri. She then realizes how powerful Ciri is and that she needs to protect her and everything. And Yennefer actually ends up is the one that's training Ciri.
Oh, nice.
But that's why all throughout season 3, Geralt is super pissed at Yennefer. Because he's like, I need you to train her, but you also
tried to kill her.
You were gonna like sacrifice her or whatever.
You're gonna, what is it? Multiverse of madness her.
Yeah. Pretty much. Eventually he comes around, as you see in the final episode.
Yeah.
Boy, does he come around. So here, I'll let you start talking about the final episode and kind of, introducing it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Final episode of season 3, part 1. Oh, not very good. I don't even think I wasn't confused. I felt like there wasn't any necessary context that was missing that was causing me to not enjoy it. It was just bad. Why is it so horny?
That was the first thing you sent to me. All of season 3, by the way, is like Yennefer writing these letters to Geralt. Like, they're working as a team now. Yeah. And so it's like, she starts writing everything like, dear my friend or dear friend or whatever. And she's like talking to him and explaining, and they're like she's like communicating via letters because he's not talking to her.
Yep.
And it's like, they're like super horny.
Sexting the medieval way.
Literally. It's like, she's like in love with him, obviously, but he's like being a grumpy Geralt.
Yep. Fair enough.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's all of season 3 is like super mad dog horny. Anyways, go ahead.
No, and then I get past the horniness. I'm like, okay, this is a Netflix show. Yeah. But then it's also just awfully written. It was like they got the writers who did that canceled live action Powerpuff Girls script that got roasted so hard on the internet that they claimed it was fake and it was a fake leak, but they sure did cancel the show. They sure did. That was unfortunate because that could have been cool. Yeah. But obviously put it in the hands of idiots. Yeah. It's real hard to become a writer, and somehow the worst people end up in the position. I was silent for a second because I was looking for the direct quote that you sent, and it was perhaps a drink later, and it says, can't, I plan on getting pregnant tonight. Like, I see what they were going for, because what's her face? Yennefer can't get pregnant because of the magic bullshit. Right. But they've done it. They did like jabs like that in the first season. Much better. And the second one, much better. God. Like, the season 2 was a little boring, but the writing was actually like reasonable. It's like, I'd be embarrassed for her, for the person who said that. Yeah, it was. I can't. It was also. It was not only was it not very funny, it was cringe. I'm planning on getting pregnant tonight. Okay, yeah. You're still able to take a drink. Yeah. You're like, what if it doesn't work? How this works. Oh man. You're not gonna give your baby fetal alcohol syndrome because you were drunk when it was conceived. Yeah. I'll sort of run through what this episode is about. The premise, very cool. Yes, I'll say that. I liked the idea that we're going for,
as Wolf said, the execution and the writing was not there. The premise is that Aretuza, the School of Magic, is inviting all the Northern mages to have a conclave, a peace summit, basically. You know, Nilfgaard is invading Sintra. Rainie is sort of waffling between a bunch of different sides, and nobody really knows where they stand. So Yennefer's idea is to have Aretuza host this conclave of mages and basically be like a peace summit, and everybody get along, everybody work together towards one unified outcome.
Yeah.
And so what this episode is the night before the actual sort of conclave or peace summit, whatever you want to call it. They have a party. Everybody's arriving to Aretuza the night before the event. They throw a party to greet everybody, have a good time before all the serious stuff has to happen. And during this, Yennefer and Geralt work together. They're now on speaking terms. I guess more than speaking terms.
Yeah.
But they're essentially a couple. And they have decided that they need to talk to everybody and sort of understand where their allies are and the people that are not allies, where they stand, if they are allies and they're just not sure yet, like yada, yada, yada. It's all sort of that thing.
Yeah.
And it's also a big deal because these sort of parties before have never had a Witcher. Like, you know, most of the time it's just magical people. Geralt technically has magic, but they've never invited a Witcher. So it's kind of a big deal. And one of the first things you said was about the music played. They sort of tell you right away.
Oh, do they tell you? One, the song was very horny.
Absolutely. Well, it's from a bard. I feel like all the bards are horny. Oh my god.
But it was like, it wasn't like, what's the word? It wasn't like subtly horny. It was, I'm gonna fuck your brains out. I'm gonna eat you out. I'm like, what is happening?
What? Sorry. Context for season 3. Remember how like Jaskier in the first one, the bard, was like funny and witty and like made a lot of jokes and like was insecure, but like in a enjoyable way.
Yeah.
This was a whiny, petty, insecure bitch. He was not funny. He was super horny to everybody. In fact, there's a whole scene where his spouse, or like, not really spouse, but like the person that he's often with, his partner, is like, catches him or finds out that he's sleeping around and gets all upset. And apparently then like 2 episodes later, she's fine with it. Wow. And like, you know, as long as you come back to me. So they just compounded like the bard not being funny by adding this secondary even hornier group.
Terrible.
Yeah, they ruined Jaskier's character. He was not enjoyable at all.
I'd say they ruined everyone's character.
Well, yeah, but his was particularly bad. His was like bad just because they changed what he is.
Yeah, what's the word? Flanderized him.
I'm not familiar.
It's the concept. So Ned Flander from Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
As he started as like a really well-rounded character, but then as time passes, we hit season 13 of The Simpsons, he becomes like a caricature of himself, which he's like boiled down to like one trait, and all his other like complexity is lost.
The religious nutcase.
SpongeBob's another good example of that.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. I didn't know there was a thing, but yeah, that completely makes sense. They definitely made him a much simpler character.
Yeah.
And this whole time, he's like trying to like avoid having a relationship with the Redanian prince.
Oh.
And during, I think maybe it was in this episode, but he ends up just like, instead of watching Ciri at the house while she's sleeping to protect her, he ends up just like going to some abandoned shack and having sex with the guy.
Priorities.
Yeah. Maybe that was the episode before, I'm not sure. But it's like the same night of the conclave.
I see. Had to be episode before. I didn't see that.
Yeah. Anyways. And so what I did like about it was the concept of the show, or the idea, was that it starts off with the intro, them going through the doors and meeting everybody, and then it sort of cuts to the end of the night with Geralt and Yennefer sort of talking about what happened. And then it flashes forward to show more about what they just talked about. Give us more insight. You know, maybe it's a different scene. Maybe it's Geralt's perspective instead of Yennefer's, that sort of thing. And then after that, it flashes back to a different stage after the party. You know, now they're in a different position having sex once again. It shows it off. And it's like, now they're talking about a different scene. And so it goes back and forth. Eventually, as the episode pans out, we get more and more context of what's happening.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like, they're obviously, you know, spoon feeding it to us with the song saying not all as it seems.
Yeah. Repeatedly, very loudly.
Very loudly. Not subtle at all, ever.
Like, do it once in the background and then don't do it again.
Yeah. And the funny thing, you're like, wow, this song sure is going on. And I'm like, don't worry, it only persists the entire episode.
It did indeed.
Do you want to like talk about sort of the what they caught, the guy they caught?
Oh yeah, what's his name? Strogsbird or something? Stroger.
Stregobor.
I was close. I was very close.
Strogsberg. Strogsberg, the Jewish mage.
No! So Stregobor, the absolute genius. So he gets caught by various mechanics.
Yeah. And, not important, but he gets caught.
Yeah, and Yennefer's looking through his stuff, and she's using her magic powers to see where he got it from. And he catches her, and then everyone else comes barging in, because, oh, you're caught, we're here to ruin your day. And he makes no effort to defend himself. And what makes it worse is that he actually wasn't doing anything bad.
He wasn't. That wasn't even his book.
Yeah, he's like...
Well, obviously, we're not explaining everything, because we're assuming you've watched it by now.
Yeah. They're like, this book could be, why do you have this book? Its main use is killing all the elves, and that's kind of something you've been interested in. And he's like, what? You think I would kill all that? No, I just think the book's real cool.
He's like, it could be used for that, but I wouldn't use it like that.
Yeah, it's more of a paperweight, really. Doesn't it look cool?
It's the book I put on top of the book stack so the dust collects on that one, not all the other ones.
Exactly. You're like, you trust this witch? Yeah. And that's all he has to say.
You trust her? Well, because I told you he says it like that because she is part elven.
Yeah.
And he is completely racist against elves. He even says, he like, you know, of course I wanted their ilk out of my school.
Can't he make a case for himself?
No, he doesn't.
And he doesn't struggle either. He's like, what do you guys think you're doing? As he just walks along with them as they escort him away.
He just like takes the L on so many levels. Because from his perspective, I mean, obviously he should have defended himself, but he thinks that he's just in trouble for wanting non-elven mages to be part of the school.
Yep.
So from his perspective, it kind of makes sense. But from the audience, it looks stupid because we know that's not what anybody is talking about.
Yeah, that's what they're accusing. They're accusing him of something much worse.
Right. We know that Yennefer is accusing him of torturing elven girls that look like Ciri.
Yeah.
Turning them into some new breed of monster and practicing mind control against them.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the book is, like Wolf said earlier, but its whole thing is that it can take all the elves on this plane and transfer them to a different plane. So it's not only just killing them, it's eradicating the entire species from the world.
Now that's an effective genocide. What on earth?
See, I told you it all comes back around. The intro is about Hitler. It all wraps around.
As it always does.
That's what the audience comes here for.
Yeah.
So that's what, like, you and I don't like is, it doesn't make sense from an audience perspective about what this guy is doing.
Yeah.
And then later on, it's also, I don't know if this was obvious to you, but there's no way in hell that Stregobor was the guy that they were looking for.
Oh, definitely not.
It was way too obvious.
Right? I'm like, you guys kind of went, that was very easy. And you guys just kind of accepted that outcome with no questions.
It's like, wow, we all have Yennefer, Geralt, and all the other ones, the other, Tissaia and Vilgefortz all have beef with Stregobor for various reasons. I don't know if you remember, but the first episode where Geralt is fighting Renfri.
Yeah.
Stregobor is the mage that asked Geralt to kill Renfri.
Ah.
He's that guy from. He's also in season 2. Like he's a recurring character, so he's like he's
some
he's
schmuck.
a main character. Yeah, he's a main character. He is a schmuck, but he's a main character. And so he that's why Geralt has like a big beef with him. Everybody else for various reasons. And so they just came to the conclusion, it's like, wow, we have beef with this guy, and he has the book we're looking for. Surely this is the guy. This must be the dude.
It worked out so perfectly.
It's like, wow, we didn't like Stregobor, and we can now get rid of him.
God.
But what conclusion did they come to?
What's her? I don't remember her name.
Tissaia.
Tissaia like warns, what's her face? Yennefer. Yeah. She's like that one lady, the lady in green. She's like blinded by her love for some guy.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's sus. And she's like, so she's not, what's her face? The lady in green, she's not really taking her own action. She's following the actions of someone else, and that someone else has big plans.
Yeah.
Those plans that Yennefer accused Stregobor of, those are his big plans.
Indeed.
But Yennefer's like, well, you didn't fight with us at that, like, what was basically an act of suicide until I turned it around all by myself and almost lost everything because of it. So I'm not going to trust you.
Yeah.
But then I guess that post-nut clarity hit her, and she was like, wait a minute.
It was the day after post-nut clarity. During the, a capture, I guess, of Stregobor, Tissaia drops her bracelet, or at some point there in the night, drops her bracelet. Doesn't really matter when. Yennefer picks it up and says, we'll give this to her later. And then through a various, scenes and talkings of each other, they realize that this bracelet is the same as the earrings that one of the sort of not allied mages was wearing. And that this, I forget her name, but it's the lady that can't talk because she burned herself.
Yeah, yeah.
And she communicates telepathically now. And so that, lines up with something that one of the elven girls that Geralt rescued said earlier, girl with a funny voice, blah, blah, blah. She's the one that I talked to and, sort of kidnapped me or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they find out that the earrings are the same stone as the bracelet, and that stone, because Geralt is a witcher, obviously knows this, only is found in this one area. And where did Tissaia get the earrings from? Well, Vilgefortz. Yeah. And so they fucking, Sherlock Holmes glue all the things together and say, oh, Stregobor's not our guy, Vilgefortz is, and that Tissaia is the one blinded by love.
Yeah, yeah. And that scene, I think it's the perfect example of how they did this wrong. Because that scene where Geralt sees the earrings, we don't get to see that.
We do not. Not
until that moment.
Very true. The only time that we ever could have seen it is when there's some flashback during one of the nights where Geralt says, oh yeah, I talked to her. I can't remember her name. We'll call her Tammy.
Tammy.
I talked to Tammy, or I saw Tammy was walking through a hallway, and that was it. That was the flashback. We saw her walking down a hallway.
Yeah.
And so that was, like you said, we don't ever get to see the earrings. We can't piece it together before the information is spoon-fed to us.
Right. You don't have to I don't need a close-up of the earrings, but I need to be able to see her walking past Geralt so I can pause the scene and be like, hey, look, there's those earrings.
Yeah. And I need a better close-ups of, well, if we got that, we would need better close-ups of the bracelet.
Or better yet, or isn't it earrings? Or better yet, someone commenting like, hey, your earring's gone.
Right. Exactly. Well, no, so Tissaia lost the bracelet.
Oh, the bracelet. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. She wears the earrings, lost the bracelet.
The other person, this other Tammy wench, is the Vilgefortz is, we find out is Vilgefortz is like right-hand person.
Yeah.
And she's the one that also hires the like mage bounty hunter to track Ciri down.
Yep.
And so, yeah, Geralt, is like, oh, I saw this wench wearing, fancy earrings, but those earrings match the same stone that Tissaya's bracelet is. And where did those come from? She's like, oh, well, Vilgefortz gave her the bracelet.
Yeah, they were so busy being horny during the flash forwards. God.
Yeah. You actually described it really well after watching it. You said this whole episode was like Knives Out for dummies.
Yeah.
All right. I think you said idiots. But
yeah.
Which is like a perfect example. That's exactly what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it like a Knives Out mystery or Glass Onion, same thing.
Yeah.
Or like an old Sherlock Holmes style thing, which would have been really cool if they didn't fucking ruin it.
It was cut together poorly. Like I
even
if they didn't shoot anything, they could have saved it just by like recutting the scenes.
Mm-hmm. And anybody that knows anything about filmmaking is that they probably have more scenes that they didn't use than what they did use.
Yeah.
So they didn't need to refilm anything anyways because they've already filmed it.
Yeah, and I saw the flash forwards are an important aspect of it. But when they flash forward and what they talked about during it, useless. Like, I gotta make sure the audience knows that Geralt and Yennefer are in on it. That's why they're acting weird. Like, no, let me go, they're acting funny, and then reveal it later.
Yeah. Yeah, like halfway through, like during the fight scene, the fake fight scene that we knew before was scripted, we knew it was scripted. Yeah. Before we were told.
And it was they could have done it so well because like the laugh, well, not the fight, but like after the fight, the like guy, Atreus or something, he like falls.
Istrid.
And it's like, watching, you can see.
Boys!
It's very obvious he fell on purpose. He basically threw himself back and grabbed someone. I'm like, that was sus. That was on purpose.
Also, in what universe is a mage gonna single-handedly fist to fist beat a witcher? Geralt takes one punch and like does a cartoon somersault backwards.
He's damn, you got me. You got me. Truce.
Yeah, truce. You got me. I'm not gonna fight for the person I love when
I started the fight.
Destroy. Yeah, exactly. When I started the fight and could easily destroy, I could snap your entire bones,
break them in half, just like that.
Oh, okay. This sort of adds to why Geralt would win the fight. Not obviously, nobody needs proof, but it was really funny. There's this guy called Rience, and he's like the mage bounty hunter that's looking for Ciri.
Yeah.
Geralt and him start like fighting during one of the big battle scenes in season 3. One of the actually good parts because there's like, it's like the elves, the humans, the Nilfgaards all sort of converge at this one spot. And they all are fighting over Ciri, but everybody's fighting everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like actually pretty cool. One moment, Geralt's fighting Rience, and he's trying to... Yennefer's holding open a portal for him, because Rience tried to escape. Geralt runs after him. They start fist fighting and doing all this thing. Rience is losing. He then shoots like fire blast at Geralt. Then stops. Geralt runs after him and like grabs his hands. Yennefer's like, I can't hold this portal open much longer. Geralt grabs both his hands, snaps them upside down backwards. And so this guy is just like, if you hold your hands out in front of you, his hands are facing him.
Oh my God.
It is not only gruesome, but was hilarious because he did it like he was snapping some small tree branch. You can't even say anything. It was so funny. I'll have to find the.
Oh my God!
It was so funny. I laughed so hard. He doesn't even. And then they just leave the guy screaming.
Amazing.
It's hilarious. It was great. And so yeah, that scene. If you remember that, there's no way Istrid is gonna win that. Even if they like, Istrid used his all mage abilities.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and all out.
Yeah, all out. Because we have to remember, Geralt's also magical.
Yeah.
He also has, like, witcher powers. And not even counting, like, if he drank potions or whatever.
Yeah, his boosts.
Anyways, right. And so, Yeah, it was just like this whole episode was like a comedy of like bad writing and choreography.
Indeed. Glad Henry Cavill escaped.
Yeah.
What's worse about all this is that like the whole Henry Cavill situation, the crew was like trying to make him out to be the problem. They're like, he wanted to be like, loyal to the source material, and he kept like trying to change things when we tried to stray far, far from it.
Right.
And abandon what made the first season good.
Yeah.
And then I watched season 3 and I'm like, well, that 7th season, I'm like, he was right. You guys did awful. You guys did everything wrong in every possible way.
I can't believe they actually went and are like doing this, like straying from the source material, even a little bit, because of how poorly it went for Game of Thrones.
Right.
Game of Thrones was literally the #1 show on television for years. Maybe, top 5 at least, but everybody was watching it. Everybody was talking about it. If it was your thing, obviously.
Everyone was hooked.
Everyone was hooked, like invested. It was like when Breaking Bad first came out. But everyone was hooked. And then the last 2 seasons, completely just utter dog shit, and honestly ruined the legacy of the show.
Damn. That's huge.
And I can't believe like any studio would come close to like breaking source material when they already know it does not work.
Right, and it's always the way they want to break source material is by making it horny. That's why the live-action Powerpuff Girl was bad. That's why the live-action Teen Titans was bad. They're too busy they want to write all these horny team dramas. They would make Riverdale, but with superheroes. Riverdale, but with The Witcher. Stop. Stop.
Yeah,
no more Riverdale.
No more. We don't need it. We already have Riverdale. Yeah. If I wanted to watch Riverdale, I would. Oh,
please, evolve past horny teen dramas.
Yeah. Horny teen dramas, horny adult dramas. I just don't need it. I don't need any of it.
Being a little horny on main, not a bad thing, but you guys are overdoing it. And now if I'm saying that, then you're really overdoing it.
Exactly. Being horny on main. Flirty jokes, those are totally fine. If Jaskier was how he was in season 1, where he was, a little comical, a little cynical, all that stuff, it was great. But they've just overdone it completely. It's like
that Geralt in the bathtub, iconic.
Yeah.
What they've done is put Geralt in the bathtub every episode, every 30 minutes.
Yeah. No wonder Henry Cavill doesn't want to be a part of it anymore.
God.
He's being flaunted like a sex doll. and I, to some extent, understand what the studio's doing. Like, Henry Cavill's a very attractive guy, but come on. There's a lot more, Witchers aren't sex dolls. That's totally not the point of them.
Yeah. Like, just let people appreciate what's on screen. You don't have to feed into it. He's hot.
Yeah, exactly. We know he's hot, Yennefer's hot. We know she's hot.
Yeah.
Like, move on. Istrid, he's an attractive looking guy.
Yeah.
Say, the whole cast, that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
that's kind of the point. Oh, they also gave Jaskier this ugly ass haircut.
Oh, no.
It's like long, greasy hair.
A mullet. Medieval mullet.
Oh, God. So, anyways, I'm curious, how would you rate this episode that you saw?
Like a 2.
Yeah.
2 out of 10. My lowest rating yet.
The potential could have been like an 8 or a 9 for what they were attempting to do, but it was like a 3.
Yeah.
For me.
Also, the good evidence at the end that they're going through, what's it, Velsigor or Velsigor's lover the whole time? The evidence they present is kind of goofy. They're Glass Onion, yeah. One of the not twists, but things that happen is that the murderer is an idiot.
Yeah.
And it felt like that, but accidentally, because they're this painting has this lady's favorite painting, and this is also the place that portal that sent me to that tried to kill me.
Yeah. And Glass Onion didn't need to beat around the bush.
It did not.
All the information, if you paid attention, was there for you to see. Yeah. In fact, you can the twist is that once again he's an idiot, so he just told lies about what actually happens. He picked up my glass, he gave me the wrong glass, he poisoned my cup or whatever. But if you go back all the way, 30 minutes or whatever that scene what they're talking about, you can see that the evil guy gave the other one the wrong glass on purpose.
Yeah, that was great. I actually went back just to see it.
It was so cool. And so if you paid attention from the start, you were rewarded in Glass Onion. This one, not only could you not pay attention because of the terrible cuts,
Yeah.
the information wasn't even presented to you, which
not.
I would be okay with if you could later figure it out when you were given more information.
Yeah.
But you still couldn't, because we knew the person that we were looking for wasn't the person. It was not Stregobor. It was obviously from the very beginning not ever going to be Stregobor.
Right.
It was just
Ridiculous.
too obvious. Yeah. So a comedy of errors. Hopefully season 3 part 2 is better, but I do not have hopes considering how the rest of it has gone.
Thoughts and prayers to the actor that agreed to it.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard. It's tough, like replacing an actor in like a lead show. That Walking Dead had big trouble with that.
Who did they replace?
Well, what's his face? Rick. Rick didn't want to do the show anymore.
Oh yeah, they just like helicoptered him out and never saw the character again. I remember that now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that one's a little different because they didn't just like replace Rick with a new actor. They just cut him from the show. But still, now you've got a new lead.
Exactly. That's always tough.
But he's already starting like the like you're pushing a boulder up the hill. The boulder has already run him over, and he's got to try again. Injured.
The boulder has not only rolled him over once, it rolled up the hill again and then rolled him back over. It really wanted to make sure he was flattened.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. That is one of the Hemsworth brothers, the youngest one. I forget his name, but the one that was like dating Miley Cyrus for a while.
Good luck to him. God.
Yeah. So, well, now he gets to like, smooch Yennefer, so that's cool.
That's true.
Although he's not like even close to the same size as Henry Cavill. This guy's like a twink. So I don't really know what they're going with.
They're going for another fucking Riverdale. That's why he's a twink now.
He's Liam Hemsworth, sorry. Look at this. I'm gonna send you a picture.
Isn't he the one from One Direction?
No, that's Liam something or other.
Let me see him.
I don't know. It's a different Liam.
Him?
Okay.
They've made a mistake.
Look at that picture. They're not even close to the same size.
Like nothing against him, but oh my god, they made a mistake.
Liam Hemsworth is like an attractive dude. He's built well, and he's muscular, he's fit. I'm just saying that like Henry Cavill is like just bigger.
Yeah.
He's just a bigger guy.
He's broad.
Yeah, that's a really good point. He's much more broad and like he's a fucking tree trunk. And this guy's like an apple tree. Oh, anyways.
Are apple trees known for being thin?
Yeah.
I see.
They're quite thin. And Henry Cavill's like an oak tree. Anyways.
A redwood.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers to The Witcher. You were a good season 1.
We'll just pretend the rest didn't happen.
Oh yeah, we already have.
Listen, Liam gets paid either way.
They all do. And they get paid a lot, so who cares?
Yeah.
All right. Rain's question of the week. Wolf, what do we got?
What is something you've done, felt, seen, etc. that you wish you could experience again for the first time?
I have a great one.
Go ahead.
First. To the shocker of no one probably, would like to experience a particular video game for the first time again.
I swear
because
to God. If you say what I think, you're going to say.
I'm not going to say Madagascar. Why would I want those memories gone? I need those. That's integral to my character.
Your character.
Okay, I'm not going to experience that again. I could just play it again and relive everything.
I see.
This one, do you have a second guess?
Legend of Zelda.
Nope. I would like to experience Stardew Valley for the first time again.
Oh.
Yeah. It was the first couple of times I've played it, like, I played it with you and our friend Charlie for the first time.
Yeah.
Didn't think much of it, but then I played it alone like, you know, just in like a solo playthrough. And then I really understood what you guys were excited about. Like, you know, exploring all the characters, the town, the quests, the different seasons, the holiday events, just like so much of it is like, it's just a feel good game.
Yeah.
And I really would like to just feel that again. That's why I'm excited for Haunted Chocolatier.
Spiritual successor.
You know, exactly. It'll come out like, you know, 2 years from now or whatever.
Yeah. It took took Harvest Moon and elevated it and perfected it.
Yeah, they absolutely did. So I would love to experience that game again. Luckily, we might have a chance with his sequel sort of game. Same art style, similar sort of things, you know, interacting with townspeople. There's a lot of good stuff there. So, and he's, you know, 3 times the game designer he was before. So
yeah.
I'm very excited. But that's my vote. I would like to experience Stardew Valley for the first time again.
Nice.
What's yours?
I
bet it would be anime.
I've got 2 because it was an anime.
Okay, go ahead.
I've got an alternate though.
Okay.
So you know, at like amusement parks, yeah, there's like that special ride that you have to pay for where they like put you in a ball and launch you into the air.
Yeah, you know, the one I've never gone on.
Yeah, of course. There's a version of it. There's a version of it where you're not in the ball, you're just strapped in like a vest, and they suspend you into the air.
Oh my god!
And then they drop you.
You're an animal.
I'd want to experience that again for the first time.
Why? Why would you want to experience it for the first time at all?
It was thrilling, invigorating. Oh, it was amazing.
No way.
Amazing. I when I went to Vegas, I jumped off the stratosphere.
Oh yeah.
That didn't compare.
Really?
Yeah, even though it was higher up, it just wasn't the same. It didn't have, because it was just straight down. And like the ride, quote unquote, had like an arc.
Sure, yeah. I would never do it. Any of it. I can't, I wouldn't go skydiving. I wouldn't do this, zip myself into a vest and launch myself. I wouldn't do it in a ball.
That's it.
I don't even do roller coasters. I physically cannot do it. No, I can't. I'm a bitch.
I'm interested in skydiving, but I can't do it because I'm actually very sensitive to G-forces. So I'd be passed out the whole time. Yeah. There was this roller coaster when I was visiting my friend in Virginia. Mm-hmm. They have like, I forget what it was called, but it was like a super fast, you experience a bunch of G-forces. Okay. We rode it like 4 or 5 times. I passed out every time.
I think I would pass out not from G-force experience, but just from sheer panic. I think I would like freak out so much that I would just collapse.
Drop dead mid-movie. We get on the ride together and we're just dead for different reasons.
I think if I went skydiving, I would actually just like collapse, pass out.
Never awake again. It'd be like a waste of money because I wouldn't be awake for it.
That's the only way I would get through it. I don't think you could convince me to jump out of the plane.
I don't think I could either. I don't think that's something you can convince people of. Maybe like weak people. But like either you're down to jump out the plane or you're not.
Right. I mean, like, obviously this isn't allowed, but nobody could even push me out. Like, I am big enough that nobody's pushing me.
You're a rock.
Yeah. Funny story. I once held my college dorm door closed against Wolfie, our friend Charlie, and our friend Ian. All 3 of them trying to push it open to get into my room, and I held it closed.
Unpassable, immovable object.
So nobody's pushing me out that door. Obviously, they don't do that.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, if someone did.
Yeah.
Or if they chose to, whatever. But and so I don't. Also, not only could they not do that, I just don't think I could be talked into jumping.
No, you're not even getting on the plane.
It's obviously hard when you offer like hypothetical amounts of money.
Yeah.
Because you could offer me like $5,000 and I'd probably do it. but I would say no until it was, the money was in my hand.
Yeah.
Like,
you're diving with the money.
Exactly. Like, I would probably do it for a low amount of money. So I'm not going to say you could pay me $1 million or whatever.
Yeah.
Because $1,000 would be great. Like, right? Like, free money. But yeah. So but that's all hypothetical anyways. So
indeed. And then the anime.
I was gonna say, what was your other thing? Not that we got off topic, but
it's heavily delusion. Oh my god, it's such a good anime.
Freak.
It's so good.
Not only did you. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't have much to say. It's really good, and it blew my. And I want to say I don't want to give it that much, but it was really good. Like
I was gonna say, if it blew your mind, that's a little much.
The type of anime it is, like the category. Or the other ones like it. It is very easy for the show, the writer to lose the plot, to get lost in the sauce, get lost in the minishima.
Yeah,
but it doesn't do that.
Machinima.
Yeah, and then something starts with the M has 3 syllables.
No, it's minutia. You were very close. It was just funny because it sounded like machinima. Yeah. I knew what you meant though. I'm obviously going to watch it, not just because, we're doing an episode on it next week.
Yeah.
Audience. We're going to be talking about
foreshadowing.
Yeah, spoiler alert, or not spoiler alert, but if you're interested in talking about Heavenly Illusion, we're going to do it next week.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm going to watch it anyways, but you've given it so much praise, and obviously I was apparently interested in it before.
Yeah.
That I would have to watch it.
Yeah.
Right, like you've said it's too good not to watch. So
I've given it high praise. The trailer doesn't neither the trailer nor the description on my end even begins to actually contain what is happening. Yeah,
I've read the description again when you were talking about it, and I'm like, this doesn't even seem like an anime that I would pick out necessarily.
Yeah,
I think I said it because I like apocalyptic and sort of those post-world stories.
Yeah.
And I said, if this one does it well, it could be really good. And it sounds like that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
So what is there anything in particular that makes you want to experience it again? Or was it just so good?
It's it's a mystery, but it's not a mystery the characters are trying to solve. The mystery is there only for the viewer. Right. Because cool. the characters, they're not interested in finding out. They're not even in a position to really know.
Okay. So that's pretty cool. So it's something the audience has to piece together.
Yeah, and you can piece it together really well. And it's the clues are there, and there's it doesn't answer all the questions, obviously. Actually, right. By the end, but you're not confused. You just have questions. You want to see what is going to happen next.
Do we? Obviously, we'll talk more about this next week. But do we know if there's a season 2, or is it just an open and closed story?
It's not a complete story, but it's too early to even talk about a season 2 because the manga is not far enough.
Exactly. Yeah, and it just came out this season of anime.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Another ranking of king situation.
Exactly. And then the other thing we don't have to dive too into this, but just give me, how's the OP? Is it good?
Oh my god, the OP is amazing.
I thought you might like it. I was going to say the OP has to be good for you to rate this show this highly.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way it's not a good OP if it's you're, proclaiming how good this show is.
The ending's real good too. And you know what? The OP and the ED are so full of foreshadowing and stuff. They play neither in the first episode.
Amazing. So I have 2 OPs that I actually like.
Wow.
I like. Can you guess what either one of them is?
I think one's Ranking of Kings. I'm not sure what the other one would be.
Spy X Family.
Ah.
I like that one. Or sorry, no, not the intro. I like the outro.
The outro. Yeah. With Anna.
Anya. Yeah.
Anya.
Anya, where she's just doing things, vibing.
Yeah.
I like that one. But yeah, the OP of Ranking of Kings, I'll watch that one all the time because that's good. But yeah, normally I'm not much of a person. I'll obviously watch it once, and if it's good, I'll watch it again. If it's not, you know I'm hitting that skip button.
God, every episode. Gotta watch.
All right. Take it away, Wolf.
I'm Wolf, taking things away. Thank you for watching episode 82 of You're Ridiculous. If you liked all that, be sure to hit the like, comment, and subscribe buttons and hit the bell so you get notified of the next episode. You can, If you're watching on a podcast website, be sure to hit the plus and give us 5 stars to support the show. You can follow us across the internet, the main cast at ridiculous_cast on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow Lucas at 7AngryWasps with an E, and you can follow me at Rainbow Does without the W. We hope to see you guys all again next week, but until then, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.